Okay, so hey, we're back.
Hello.
I have got something that we just did. If you saw last week's
Yes.
or last time it was on, I was in the hot seat. Now it's your turn.
Oh, the tables are turned.
Josie. We're going to find out a little bit about Josie. Now, the reason we're doing this is because we think it's important that we let you guys know who we are.
Yeah.
And we actually do work at the company.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I found out about, now I found out about something about Josie a couple of years ago, and I got really interested to find out about it. So I think you're going to find this interesting. So
I'm nervous.
somebody used to be a news anchor.
Yes.
Now tell me a little bit about that, first off, and tell me where you're from originally.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I am from El Paso, Texas, and I graduated school in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I went to New Mexico State University. Go Aggies.
All right.
Have a lot of school pride, but that's sort of where I stumbled upon journalism. I was not the person or that little girl who was like, I'm going to be a reporter when I grow up one day. I just stumbled upon it. I signed up for a reporting class when I was in college, and I just fell in love. I got a camera. I went out and covered a 5K on campus, and I just loved the ability to talk to people and interview them and just ask them what was going on and recording video, and I just loved everything about it. So I got started, and I took a bunch of classes. I did a lot of internships and stuff. I interned in New York at NBC, so I interned at the network. I interned in Washington, D.C. for a man named Dr. John McLaughlin, if you're into politics. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but I learned a lot from him. And so I went back to school after those summers, and I finished my college career and started working in El Paso as a reporter and anchor, and I was there for about 4.5, 5 years.
For ABC, right?
Yeah.
Is it ABC? Now we got to get a picture of this because it's just, look at her. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's just like, and so I heard that they said she used to be an anchor, and I was like going, you mean like just like, I thought maybe just like the entertainment reporter or something like that. And they go, no, she was the anchor. And I'm like, okay, well this is like untapped talent that we're in. And so one of the things that when I started thinking about, kind of starting this thing, I thought, Josie, I need Josie. And the first time you and I sat down, it was like, well, I'll just go home because she's better than I am.
No,
she's better than I am.
Not at all.
You're so good at this. So tell me what was the most interesting story that you covered as a
Oh my
as a
gosh,
journalist?
That's really tough. I will say one of my favorite stories to cover, because I consider myself a border girl. So I grew up in El Paso. My first TV market was working in El Paso, and Pope Francis went to visit our sister city, Ciudad Juarez, which is right across the border. So obviously, a lot of people know Juarez as or used to be a dangerous city, and so when the Pope chose to visit Juarez, it was a really big deal for people in the community, and it was just so fun. I was one of the few journalists chosen to cover it, and just experiencing it. And even, I grew up Catholic, but I know a lot of people have different religious beliefs, but I just really felt like it was a time in our community that brought a lot of people together, and there was a lot of excitement, and people, it was just a really, really fun experience, and just being a part of it and talking to people and seeing their reaction was really, really beautiful, and I always look fondly upon it. One of my favorite experiences as
I know
a reporter.
That you were hit really hard when the El Paso event happened recently. That was, I could tell. We were in here filming right afterwards, and you were devastated.
It really was. I mean, I think it felt like a part of me. You see the people that were affected, and it felt like that was my family. And fortunately, I didn't know anybody that was affected. That part of my family or friends, that network, but. Everybody knows everybody in El Paso in some way, shape, or form. And so it felt like that was my family, And so it was really, really tough. And I think as a community, El Paso is still, going through it and just kind of healing from it. But to see the way people have come together, something that I love about it. If you're ever in El Paso around there, I definitely recommend stopping by. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, I do too. I love it. I love it. I even know Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Really?
Yes. I used to. When I was school in California, so I was driving from Houston to Los Angeles, and that was right on 10.
Oh, okay,
So I was always stopping there to get gas or to stay the night. But it was. So tell me, how did you end up here?
Well, I think that's the interesting part of my life, right? So that was a year and a half ago when I moved to Austin. That was a really big decision for me because I loved working in TV news, but needed to explore something different. And, you know, we all have different hobbies and interests, and I really loved digital marketing, you know, that side of things, and I wanted to explore it. So when my fiance and I moved to Austin last year, we were kind of at a crossroads, and I said, okay, what do I want to do? And so this opportunity was one that came up, and I said, why not try it? You know, it's something different. And I really liked it after looking into the company and looking at just how different it was. I said, I could be a part of this. And so I was really fortunate when they offered me the job, and it's been a really, really great ride. I've learned a lot of different things. I'm a marketing specialist here, so I do a lot of, you know, working with our design team to kind of collaborate and get our sales team armed and ready to go with the resources they need. I do a little social media. I've helped out with the TOC team, do a lot of different things on a day-to-day basis, but I enjoy it. I think that's part of my personality is as a reporter, I was so used to doing different things, and no 2 days were the same. And so I feel sometimes in some way, you know, my job here is like I do something different, and I like that. I like just the atmosphere here. I love the people here, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I feel really lucky to have her because
thank you, Mike.
well, no, I mean it's like this is. I know we're just talking and stuff and everything, but you know, you know, most people go, okay. It's such a weird thing. You know, you put the camera on somebody and they go, yeah, and everything. So you're so natural in front of a camera, and you're and you really love what you're doing.
Yeah, I do.
And I couldn't have done this Everybody Play Nothing without you. So
Mike, thank you. Well, I'm enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. You know, it's been a lot of fun creating content. I think you know, we live in this era where, you know, YouTube is really growing and it's getting big, and everybody sort of has a platform, which I love. I love that about YouTube, because I grew up, you know, in journalism where it was, you know, just TV, and it wasn't until I maybe started my college career that social media was starting to be a really big thing, and you know, we were starting to pay absolutely, and to see the way that it's transformed now and being a part of it in this way has been really, really fun and very interesting.
You know, and it's funny because you did come from a traditional media, and so I always use this word because I think it's fancy, you know, democratization of media. It's like buzzword. But you know, it's true. I mean, the thing is that media used to be these networks, used to be print, used to be, you know, publishing, and it's kind of become this free-for-all, which in some ways is, you know, it's faster than we can keep track of, but it's also really interesting. And I think that's one of the reasons I think I'm fascinated by the slot community, the online slot community, and them communicating and us being able to talk directly to players.
Yeah, I mean, really, like you mentioned in your video, was that you love to be able to connect to players, because that's a really big part of your job. And, you know, we rely on our players to determine what to put out there and how to put it out there. And so it's really fun to connect with you guys on this level, because you know, this was not something that was really heard of back in the day. You know, maybe a few years, a decade ago, this was not something that most companies did.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, and in fact, I'll tell you a secret. I think that most companies, most manufacturers of slot machines try to stay as anonymous as possible. Yeah. And I think that has changed in some ways. I mean, everybody knows they're going to go to a casino. And look, if you haven't figured it out, the advantages to the house. And that's the way slot machines work. The casinos always, you know, the percentages are heavily regulated, but you know, the advantages to the house. But you know, so everybody knows that you're probably going to lose. I lose all the time and everything, but these wins are really, really exhilarating, and I think that it's really fun for people who, you know, who enjoy this as a fun thing to do. You know, it's just you know, it's thrilling. Yeah. I'm just, you know, and the more I watch the YouTube guys and they're high rolling, you know, I'm a low roller. I am.
Yeah, I live vicariously through all of y'all.
I totally live vicariously through you guys. So when you win big, I'm like, yes.
I win big too. Yeah. That's how it feels.
That's great. Yeah. Well, that's great. And like I said, I thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that you know, subscribe, you guys, because we want to keep doing it. And I think there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah. A lot more to talk about, right? Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming to you guys very soon.
So anyway, you guys, we'll be back. We're going to do some jackpot roundups in a couple days, and we'll probably, you know, we're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to do some things a little bit differently. I'm going to try to find some games.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm going to try to get some of the designers. I'm going to sit down with maybe Brian. Brian Watkins, and maybe sit down with one of his games that gets released.
Yeah.
If I can get some time with some of the other designers at the other studios.
Yeah, I think you guys would like that. I really do.
Because I'm used to dealing with them every day, and these brainiac, sort of like swinging geniuses. It's math, but it's creative math. It's it's about what makes things fun. And then all I do is just paint it up pretty and put some glitter on it.
Well, I'm excited about this. We got a lot of great content coming to you guys, and
now it's up to you to go outside, go there, and go to the casinos and play.
Yes.
Okay.